All right, everyone. Pennsylvania Democrats right now must be not feeling too well because the governor of their state, who happens to be a Democrat, Josh Shapiro, we're going to get into some nuance with regards to him, has come out now and said effectively the GOP is correct. If you've got ballots that are post-dated or undated, they're not allowed to be counted in the actual recount, which is what they're trying to do to keep Casey in his seat down there against McCormick, who clearly has won. The race has been called for him. He's still got like a 15,000 vote lead or something like that. He's won. Shapiro is deciding to throw Casey under the bus, and it is for entirely self-serving logistic reasons. I assure you of that. Now, the first part, which is funny, is that the Democrats there are literally and brazenly ignoring a court order in order to count these ballots. They've been called out by a number of sources, by the way, on this topic. The second part, though, is Shapiro being self-serving. I mean, he is right. The ballot shouldn't be counted because they don't conform to the laws. It is down in Pennsylvania. That's fine. But the reason that he's bringing it up and talking about it publicly isn't because he doesn't want Casey to be in there. Of course, he would love that to happen. The reason is because he's going to be running for the presidency in 2028. He is on the short list. He gets fairly high marks from Democrats, absent Kamala Harris, as I spoke of earlier for some reason. Actually is probably number 2 after, or maybe after Gavin Newsom, I suppose, which would be a terrible idea and would lose as well. And the reason that he's doing this is he kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Imagine this, you're Josh Shapiro. You got passed over for the VP slot that a lot of people thought that you should get. Okay, well then you can distance yourself from the disastrous campaign that was the Kamala campaign. Ta-da! Well, that was easy. All you have to say is, well, you know, she could have had me as running mate instead of this goofy-ass Tim Walz, but she decided not to have me. Rather sad. So there's number 1. Number 2, most Democrats aren't talking about what's happening in Pennsylvania. By weighing in on it, the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, is therefore able to differentiate himself from the party and say, well, you know, I said I believe in election integrity. I believe that elections should be fair and open and honest and stuff like that. It'll be sloganeering, but it'll work because the average person will be receptive to it. That's exactly what Josh Shapiro is doing right now. More power to him, by the way. I mean, at least he's technically standing for what's right. It's self-evident under court order that the ballots that are being counted in some of these counties shouldn't count at all. They're not proper. They were not post-dated, or rather they were post-dated, or they weren't dated at all. Well, the Supreme Court literally already told you that you're not allowed to count those ballots. For some inexplicable reason, they have come out and explicitly stated that this is explicit, this is not implied. They've come out and said, well, everyone breaks the law these days. It's all good. We're just going to ignore the court. How much more brazen can you get when you're trying to steal an election? Josh Shapiro very wisely said, this is not going to be a good look if I support my fellow Democrats in the state. Let's throw them under the bus, get this done with. He's doing that for a reason, and it is entirely, by the way, political. That's about all. Peace out.